And now you see we have foreshortened that cube 2 times. Maybe one more. There, now we have it 4 times. Perfect. Okay. We can obviously also rotate the cube if we want. So we want to have another perspective look than the 45-45. This is the really nice part about blocking this out in 3D, because you can kind of maybe get an idea of, if you envision your object in there, will I be able to draw everything nicely? Okay, good. So how do we create actually that image? Well, before we continue, we want to go to render, go to OpenGL settings, full sample, all the stuff we can turn on, 16, and this is important here, transparent. And then in this view, there we can go and say, make an OpenGL rendering. And there are all my lines. Now this I could print out and I'm good. But let's say I rather would like to have these a little bit bigger and more at the center of the page. So maybe your first impression would be, well, I can select these cubes and just move them up. But then you see we're changing, unfortunately, the perspective look, and that's not really what I want. Well, we could select the camera and move the camera up and down, and that pretty much does exactly the same. Also not good. So what we can do in this case is, with the camera selected, we apply a shift along the y-axis. There. Now let's see if I move those a little bit closer. Again, pay attention that this doesn't get too pinchy. And maybe a little bit like this, and one more. And then this now we could print out. When you go to save this image, make sure you select PNG, RGB, A activated, the A for the alpha mask, so that the image maintains transparent. Perfect. One additional step that's actually interesting to know. So here I will put those actually onto the ground. Here with the camera I will turn this one back to 0. And now this basically looks like, because the boxes are drawn from the horizon line, like somebody is lying on the ground. Now let's say you would like to draw an object you look down to. So we can either move the boxes down, now you see we can see them from the top, or if you want to do it this way, we can also move simply the camera up. That, for example, gives me then the ability to see everything from the top. And let's say you have a room or space or an object. We can create these boxes to proportion. The distance where the camera is can, for example, be measured. Right now this is 2.6. I'm not that big. Let's say maybe 1.85 meters. That's maybe where my eyes are. So this is my eye level. Perfect. And if I move the camera a little bit further away, there, there, this would kind of like be the height. But then also here I can do this a little bit with shift along Y. And now I would see, for example, this array of 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter boxes in 2-point perspective going to the right vanishing point. And that's basically all you need to know if you want to make use of blocking out proportional cubes in 3D, rotating them, positioning them, and then creating screen grabs. So you could either use those as an underlay in other programs or print them out on a sheet of paper, and then we can do the drawing in it. The only thing you need to then maybe figure out or estimate is where are roughly the vanishing points. There's one additional trick we could do. So for example, here these 2 points I select, switch to local, E and then X and X. Hold on, nope, there, I'll move this one to there. And here I press E, escape, and I move it along local space there. Okay, so if I subdivide this box, say like this and there, I find the midpoint. If I go to this box and subdivide it, I find the other midpoint. Now I can draw from there to there a line. Then I find all the midpoints on these boxes and also the midpoint maybe here. And then all I need to do is, if this is the max height, also top, and that's the lowest point, whenever I draw lines to the vanishing points, I can then have a midline to use as a reference, and the more I draw down, the more the line here has to go lower and here has to go lower. But they can't always be parallel, because, you know, it's perspective foreshortening. But this way you can create some visual helpers that make estimating where the vanishing point is of the page a little bit easier.